All right. Welcome. Welcome to the long take, which is a tentative name that I picked out because I like long takes in movies for whatever this show is going to be. And for me, this show, you can hear me, right? Okay. That's the very first thing I was always worried about anytime you start a new show is that if you can hear or not. Um, but again, for me, this show is just going to be an hour long show where I can basically talk to you guys about movies, about TVs. You can talk to me about it. I want you guys to be as interactive as possible. Like literally comment anything and everything you want to know. I'm going to be asking for recommendations. Going to be talking about TV. Going to be talking about literally anything you want. So, without further ado, we can go straight into. I'm not in a bathroom stall. All right, find a new slang. I'm in a studio, but like it's a difficult situation because like it's very tight. I'm in the producer chair of a regular studio. So anyway, we can jump right into it. The first thing I wanted to talk about was just some of the movie news because what happens every time we do LCB on Sunday is we get all the news from before and then like 50 things drop on a Monday. So like it's kind of frustrating, but I do get to talk about some of it now, including it's called the long take. Nothing changed. It's a nice little long take. I think it's a good name, right? We're not going to change it, I don't think yet. But the first thing we get to talk about is our boy, the Goss God, in that first look at him as the Ken doll. And big surprise, he's massively sexy. Like, I don't know if anyone thought he was going to be anything other, but he kind of looks like his character from like The Place Beyond the Pines a little bit. A little bit different, right? Like I like the gene. He's got the gene on gene. He's got like the bleach blonde hair. He still has the abs, even though he's like, I think pushing 40 now, something like that. He might be over 40. I really don't know. But he just looks so fucking good. And it's one of those things where like there are so many hot men in that movie that like he might not even be the best one. I'm not crazy surprised that he took the role only because it's Greta Gerwig and like the movie has such a massive cast already, even beyond him before him, Margot Robbie, whole bunch of other really good actors, and like Simu Lee was in it, I think, a bunch of other really handsome men. And that movie, which is very funny, it's coming out tentatively at the same exact time as Oppenheimer, same exact date next year, July something. And so that movie it's essentially like the dichotomy of like it's the dude's rock movie versus the girls rock movie, and it's like which one are you going to see first? Are you going to see the Christopher Nolan biopic about Robert Oppenheimer or the Barbie movie? I mean, I know which one's going to be more pleasant. Yes, an extreme bonk movie, hugely bonked movie. Yeah, I don't know how his diet works, Ryan Gosling's, but he just consistently has looked good for a very long time. And part of that just is like when you're that rich, your entire life is like manicured by other people. So a little bit lucky. Yeah. Good double feature, Sergio. You got a great point. Next was that Blonde trailer. I feel like the Blonde trailer. Actually, that's a great question, Matt, is if Cillian Murphy is sexy or gross. Like, I don't really know. He's like scary, but in a hot way. I feel like it's very difficult to nail down what Cillian Murphy is. He's got like scary ghost eyes, but I don't know. Anyway, the Blonde trailer, Andrew Dominic movie. He did Killing Them Softly, which I like, but I know people aren't thrilled over or whatever. Did a bunch of episodes of Mindhunter. He did the coward Robert Ford that shot Jesse James or something like that. I always fuck up that title. He's done good movies. He's doing this one with what do you call it? Obviously, Ana de Armas. A bunch of it looked like it was in black and white, some in color. Looks great. Obviously, he wanted to do like the NC-17 rating, so you get to see boob, tits, ass, like maybe dong. I don't know. Could see my great grandfather JFK's dong for all I know. I mean, what was the story behind that? I think they had sex in like a closet or something, right? I don't really know how that works. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how it works as far as like Netflix goes. Cha-Cha Real Smooth, I'm going to work my way to that. But I don't remember what the story is between him and Marilyn Monroe, JFK. But I don't know. She was cool. And Ana de Armas, obviously, hottest human being to ever exist. Excited for Spiderhead. Yeah, actually, I'm weirdly hearing a lot of very good things about Spiderhead. I heard people say like this is as big a home run for Kaczynski as Top Gun 2, but like in different ways, I guess, like maybe a little bit different. So I don't know. I'm very excited to watch how it goes. I heard it's like all over the place. Obviously, Miles Teller, Chris Hemsworth, huge cast. Did I see the new episode of The Boys? I've seen all the episodes of The Boys. We got screeners of the entire season. I blew through it like a month ago. You are not even close to seeing the craziest out of The Boys. There's an episode coming up. I don't know if it's the next one or the one after that. It's called Herogasm. That is the episode you want to sit your watch to. That is one of the craziest episodes, not only in The Boys, but I think in like of TV I've seen in general. It's fucking awesome. And like the way the show wraps up is even better. Next up is that Denzel is going to be in Threequalizer, the third Equalizer with Dakota Fanning. Obviously Man on Fire reunion. The first Equalizer is awesome. The second Equalizer is like, I don't know. It's not bad, but it's certainly not on the level of first Equalizer. But the Threequalizer with Dakota Fanning, I feel like it was purposeful, like kind of putting them back together. But I don't know. I'm a little interested to see some Threequalizing. Spiderhead at a 52. I mean, is Queen Latifah retcon? That's actually a great question. A great question. She should get a cameo. I think she's been carrying the Equalizer torch for Denzel on like a TV show that apparently, and because I tweeted this out, I remember saying like, who the fuck is watching the Queen Latifah Equalizer show? Because I couldn't think of a single human being that was watching it. People were replying to me like, yeah, my dad loves the Equalizer with Queen Latifah, and like my mom loves it. My parents watch it after whatever the program they normally watch. So yeah, I feel like she deserves a cameo at the very least. Herogasm is the comic that introduced Soldier Boy. I didn't know that, but like I'm telling you, man, that episode is fucking. You think the beginning episode of this season was insane? Just fucking wait. It is awesome. Next is that there's 3 Avatar movies in the works with Konietzko and DiMartino producing. Obviously, the guys that did the first Avatar series, and I guess they did Legend of Korra too. The fact that they're involved, they're animated movies. The fact that they're involved, it makes it already 20 times more exciting than whatever the live action thing is. Because in my opinion, live action Avatar just won't work. It's not going to work. And if you don't have those two involved, it's definitely not going to work. Because I think they left due to creative differences also, which makes it a little more ominous for Netflix's side. But I love Avatar, The Last Airbender, one of the best shows I think cartoons ever made. So very excited to see where that goes. Is it confirmed they will center on Aang or another Avatar? I don't think they really said anything about it as far as I saw, but I am very excited to see that. The Jon Snow sequel series. Okay. The Jon Snow thing is weird to me because I think that the one thing I was really sick of towards the end of it was like the way that they turned Jon Snow from like the lovable hero that you're like, wow, he deserves it. Like he should be on the throne, into just this kind of like whiny bitch. And like, I just didn't like the way that they turned his character. And like the one thing that we have seen more out of Jon Snow than anything else is him just moping and like, kind of like treading around in the tundra looking sad. And I just don't want to watch that anymore. I don't want to watch Jon Snow walking around in the snow anymore. And I don't want to see him with the wildlings. I don't want to see him doing anything up there anymore, period. I think mostly because it gives me like, not like, maybe PTSD is a strong word, maybe. But it gives me sort of that for the like thinking of how scared I was of the White Walkers and them meaning nothing. I will say Kit Harington, yeah, his Pompeii movie didn't work out, although it did lead to a great Bastille song. He did have the cameo or small role in Eternals. Was it Black Knight? I forget the name. I don't know, but he's gonna be fighting Blade, so we are gonna see him later, and I think he has good comedic timing, so maybe. I would love if we were to see Jon Snow go south. Like if there was like an episode in the north and then they go down south and he's like, I don't know what, like maybe helping Bran fight a new enemy and he ends up having to take the throne from him, then I'd be down for that. I still would rather see, or still am intended, I want to see the House of the Dragon, which apparently George R.R. Martin likes, which like, I don't know what that means because he liked the series as well. So like the endings of the series and all that shit. So I don't really know which he switched up on quick because he was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm writing a totally different ending. It's gonna be nothing like that." He backtracked on that. Yeah, 7 Days in Hell, great performance by Kit Harington. He has awesome comedic timing. So I don't know. I'm interested in that. Thoughts on season 3 of Barry? We're definitely gonna work our way there. The last news thing that came out, and this was like literally right after we had recorded the last episode of LCB, was that the Joker 2 movie with the French title or whatever is going to be musical, I guess, and it's going to co-star Lady Gaga. I think I wrote this in my blog on it. I think this is a cool idea only because like you can really take that in a lot of different directions. Like you can make it into like, I don't know, like Sweeney Todd sort of thing, like a psychotic musical. So I don't know. I think that it's actually an interesting idea. I have no idea if actually, no, I do have an idea. I was about to say, I'm not sure if Joaquin Phoenix can sing like that, but I mean, he sang all of Johnny Cash and he actually sang it. So, or in Walk the Line. So I don't know. And Lady Gaga can obviously sing. So I don't know, it's weird, but anyway, I think there's like a lot of room to go with it. Lady Gaga Oscar nomination. The thing about Lady Gaga, and like I love A Star Is Born. House of Gucci, not that great. I don't think Lady Gaga is that strong of an actress. She's one of the greater singers in the business right now. I just think her acting's a little like wishy-washy. And like the one thing that will suck for her playing Harley Quinn is like she'll be going up against the already ingrained performance of Margot Robbie. Not that that's like a world-ending Heath Ledger type Joker thing, but like I don't know, it's gonna be a little difficult to detach that if she doesn't do as good a job. The movie Bernie starring Jack Black. Yeah, it's really weird. It's a funky movie. It's based on like a true story about some like this guy caught up in like a criminal conspiracy, if I remember correctly. Pretty fucking good. Part of Joker being so great was unexpectedness. Yeah, the movie to me the most of the points for me in my rating of it, which I think was like a 79, was like just based on Joaquin Phoenix's performance, not necessarily like points made in the movie. So like if they get like an awesome performance, wait, who said something about him being Todd Phillips being Kevin Feige? Gooch, what are you talking about? Yeah, Mark. I think that's just gonna be kind of difficult for it later. Lightyear, I've heard, is okay, but like it's just very safe and doesn't take a lot of risks. All right. Next up, and this is the thing I'm excited for you guys to interact with the most. Okay, so I want to do streaming recommendations, basically. Blanket streaming recommendations. You can recommend TV, you could recommend movies, you could recommend anything you want. For me, I'm just going to go with four shows across the streaming platforms, the major ones. For Hulu, Under the Banner of Heaven was awesome. They just wrapped up 2 weeks ago. It's about a real life murder in Mormon country. Has Wyatt Russell, Sam Worthington, Daisy Edgar Jones, and Barry the lead, Andrew Garfield as well. Fucking awesome. We just interviewed Wyatt Russell about it as well, and that'll be on the next episode of LCB. Really, really good show. Very interesting. Little like the chronological or the chronology, I guess, is a little bit odd, but yeah. Severance, Patches Adams, great point. Severance is a great series that more people should watch. French horror movie Raw on Netflix. I'm gonna check that one out. New Bourdain doc on HBO Max is sensational. I do want to watch that. I recently on HBO Max started watching Somebody Feed Phil, which I'd never watched before, and it's about one of the producers of Everybody Loves Raymond. It's like the writer of Everybody Loves Raymond going around getting fed international foods. It was weird, but whatever. What's my take on Prey? Prey, the trailer I watched, it started off with a like it's obviously takes place with Native Americans and everything like that. It started off with someone asking the Native American girl, like, why do you want to be a hunter so bad? And then she's like, because all those boys think I can't be. And then I'm immediately like, what does this have to do with Predator? Like, why are you injecting that sort of vibe into a Predator movie? This is supposed to be the most mindless action horror-ish vibes you can possibly get. You do not need that in a Predator movie. Especially after how shitty the last one was when they tried to like they did like the Rain Man bit of like autism being superpowers, which was so fucked up. Mob Psycho 100 was really, really good. I think that for me, I'm always on the in between with recommending One Punch Man or Mob Psycho, same author of the mangas, I believe. I'm hesitant recommending those as a starter anime because, especially One Punch Man, it parodies other anime. So like, I feel like you're better off starting with like Cowboy Bebop or something that, like, I don't know, translates a little bit better. On HBO, I would recommend Barry. So Barry season 3, I think saw someone earlier in this put this out, that they thought, Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. I was about to say that was my next suggestion. I watched that directly after I finished Under the Banner of Heaven. But Barry season 3, I think it was through the first half, maybe 75% of the season, I was like, this is the worst season of Barry. Like, it's good. It's better than most television. It's just the worst season of Barry. But I think that the last 2 episodes specifically really stepped it up hugely. The long takes you're mentioning were really sick. I think the scene where the whole, I think it was the penultimate episode where Barry's like on the highway on the motorbike or the dirt bike. So good. So good. A lot of great scenes, a lot of great drama. Definitely the least funny season. So I don't know what that means to whom, but like, if you're expecting it to be like Barry season 1, where it's a whole bunch of jokes between, Barry, NoHo Hank, and all these guys, that's not what you're going to get. It's definitely way more dramatic, intense, but I think that is good in its own right. And like, you don't want it to be, I guess, the same way through. I think they're only going to do one more season of Barry. So yeah, I'll see where that goes. On Netflix, like I mentioned before, Keep Sweet, Pray Obey. It's like a documentary on the Jeffs scandal. Warren Jeffs, the guy who ran the fundamentalist Mormon church that got indicted of like 50 sexual assault charges, and I think he's in jail for life. Marrying underage brides and all that shit. Fucking disgusting human being. But it was like a very interesting documentary, and I think that they sort of pieced it together really well. On The Boys, or rather on Prime Video, The Boys, obviously, The Boys is like one of the best shows running right now, full stop. Like, it is so goddamn good. And again, like I mentioned before, like, you guys have seen up to, I think this last episode was the musical type episode. So the last one that came out, I think, was the musical one. Again, it gets crazier. It gets way crazier. You guys really haven't seen anything yet at all. Cowboy Bebop over. Yeah. So Neon Genesis Evangelion is like, you can't start with that as an anime. That is way too fucking in the weeds, weird bullshit. Like, people are not going to get that if that's their first anime. They're going to be like, this is what anime is like. I'm out. That's one you got to watch, like, after you watch the basic shit. Invincible season 2. Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for that as well. They are recording it though, or maybe they're done recording by now, because they had that picture of Steven Yeun doing it. We talked to Zazie Beetz about it and all that. So very interested in that. Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad. It's weird. I think just from a consistency standpoint, Better Call Saul is like slower, definitely slower, but like it probably is a better overall show than Breaking Bad. But like, obviously this show hasn't ended yet, but like, I don't know, it's really hard to say, but like, I don't even want to go. I don't even want to make that call just yet. Gun to your head, The Boys season 1 or Invincible. I would say between those two, Invincible. But again, that's just, it's too condensed of a season, so you only have one of them, so you gotta work on that. Outer Range, I haven't watched. I watched the first episode. The first episode of Outer Range was awesome. It was like, somebody had described it to me as Lost meets. I just accidentally clicked my own chair down. It was Lost combined with Yellowstone, and I kind of got that vibe after the first episode, but I need to go back and finish that. Spy X Family, yeah, I actually just started that. It's anime sometimes, like, I want to watch it before or while I'm going to sleep or something like that, and that's when I'll watch a dub versus a sub. And that one is only a sub, so like, I need to like be up and paying attention to it. Well, let's see. The Rehearsal, yeah, Nathan For You. Nathan Fielder has been responsible for 2 great shows so far. Besides Nathan For You, obviously one of the funnier shows made in the last like decade. But also How To with John Wilson on HBO, really funny. Fucking bizarre series. It is really, really good though. He produced that. John Wilson is like a documentary guy that works on it. Really, really, really good show. Umbrella Academy, yeah, I'm very, very psyched about that. The Umbrella Academy, the first season of it was so cool, so awesome. The way they use music, the powers were great. Obviously, acting performances across the board are amazing. Definitely psyched up for season 2, that which I think comes out 23rd, the June 23rd. I'm pretty sure, something like that. So, What We Do in the Shadows, the new season, yeah, that What We Do in the Shadows has been incredibly consistent. They just got renewed for I think another 2 seasons, if I remember right, which is awesome. 22nd for Umbrella Academy next season. Squid Game reality show, like I think they tweeted right after it. It's like no one at Netflix watched the show at all. It's just how that worked out. Stranger Things, I mentioned this on the last episode of the pod, but to me, Stranger Things was like a sandwich where the bread is the best part. Like the first 2 episodes and the last episode of that, 8-episode arc or 7 episodes so far, really, really good. Everything between that felt a little bloated. Yeah, that's true. Not a lot of people do recognize Dark. Dark is one of the best shows I've ever watched, period. I think it's probably the best show to ever come out on streaming, if I had to pick one. Vinland Saga, that's one anime I haven't worked my way to yet, but I definitely need to. I know Goochman is huge on Vinland Saga. I love Ace, yeah. He is really fucking cool. I mean, again, I'm very not that far into it yet, but still. Reservation Dogs. Yeah, Reservation Dogs is cool. That's a Taika Waititi produced show about a Native American reservation and like teens on it. Very, very funny. Cars or Lightyear. So like the 2007 movie Cars or the 2022 movie Lightyear. I don't know. Hype level for Gray Man. I thought so. Gray Man looks really cool. Obviously has the cast, has the Russo brothers directing, and they have like the Russo brothers stunt team is always cool. And I think that one of the coolest movies they made was Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is an espionage movie before it's a Marvel movie. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in that. Am I watching One Piece? I got about 300 episodes into One Piece, and I kind of called it quits. I was like, it's a fine show. There's just so much filler, and like it reminds me of watching like Dragon Ball a little bit, but even Dragon Ball is like more condensed. I don't know. It's long, but I do really like the characters in it for whatever that's worth. Eating, well, yeah, well, obviously you need to be eating beans no matter what situation you're in. See any films from Sundance? No, we got invited to some things for Tribeca Film Festival, and I'm still getting emails about stuff at Hamptons Film Festival. Gonna work there. We get to trade DeAndre Ayton. I don't know what the situation is gonna be with him, but it's tight. I don't know how to work that out in my brain. Seinfeld on Netflix. Yeah, I started Seinfeld for the first time. I'd never watched all the way through, it's sacrilegious to people, but like for me, the show was over before I was like able to really watch it. Like it was obviously on reruns and stuff, but I didn't watch any of that. I watched like cartoons. But I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is obviously Larry David did Seinfeld. So I don't know. I just started it recently though, and obviously great. Men was a very interesting movie. Very difficult to digest, very difficult to like figure out how to promote it to someone, like what it is. But it's very interesting. What would I do with the Flash movie? They just got to release it, I guess. I don't even think they have a choice. Like, they're Warner Brothers, between how they handled the Johnny Depp situation and now however they're going to handle this Flash situation, just have been eating shit basically nonstop, except for the Batman. So I don't know. Yeah, we talked about the rehearsal a few minutes ago. Just that first little bit trailer seemed really cool. How's our Sweet King Trill doing? What's the last thing he texted me? Let me see. We usually text every day. Oh, this is the last image he sent me. I don't know what it means. I didn't even ask him. It means something. If you can decipher who that is or what it is, just tell me. Thoughts on Quentin Tarantino? He's great, man. I don't know what more I need to say about him. Just fire the Flash movie into orbit. Like I honestly don't know because they spent millions and millions and millions of dollars. So, we'll never know. Okay, so we're gonna keep doing the recommendations and all that shit, but I want to do something that I think we'll do in every one of these, which is I'm going to not rank, but I guess kind of rank things. And this week, I wanted to do my personal favorite movies of 1998. So I'm going to reveal those to you as you go. Did I like last season of Curb? Yes. Was Coda the most overrated Lifetime movie? No, I think Coda was really good. No, I don't think it was as good as Sound of Metal. Sound of Metal should have gotten the applause that earned. So we're going to do best movies of 1998. I think like in the future, it would be stuff like, I don't know. It could be like, what's the right word? Biggest movie creeps. I was gonna say pedophiles, or maybe movie characters that give off pedophile energy. Yeah, that would be a good one, but maybe not. But stuff like that will be the idea. Kenobi and Fett. Fett was definitely. I enjoyed it for what it was, but Boba Fett is so hard to digest because, like, I feel, and this is something I've said about Boba Fett since like the first few episodes that aired. The Mandalorian is what we all wanted Boba Fett to be, and they couldn't just make another Mandalorian out of Boba Fett, so they tried to make him a little bit different. Don't think that worked, but yeah. Kenobi so far has been very, like, I don't know, fine. Like, it's definitely not on the level of like Mando or anything like that, but better than Fett. I don't know. It feels very rushed, kind of, and we'll see. We'll see how it closes out. We'll see. Did like seeing Hayden Christensen again, obviously. All right, so let's add this to the stream. Now we're going to look at some movies. The loader droid is the star of Kenobi. You're absolutely right, Boom. Okay, so the first movie on my list here of 1998 movies, Mulan. I would rank it higher, but it is an animated kids thing, so like it's tough to reconcile that. But I do have so for all of these, I just want to look up on the IMDb trivia page and just see what they had on them. So this movie, Mulan, was the first ever Disney movie to be released on DVD, which doesn't seem like, in my head, DVD players didn't exist until 2000, but like it's obviously not right. Mulan, yeah, banger soundtrack. Another thing I learned about it is that in China, Jackie Chan voiced Shang, and he also did the singing voices for all of them too. So like there's a Jackie Chan version of I'll Make a Man Out of You that Jackie Chan sings, and he did like a whole music video for it. It's crazy. But yeah, it's pretty interesting looking at the facts from that. But I love that movie. I think that's the first Disney princess I ever liked because she wasn't like I don't know, like a do nothing. She was just like a badass. She fucking killed Mongols. I think that was sick. Mulan DVD fact broke your brain. Yeah, like it doesn't make sense to me, but again, it's true. Next up, basketball. I didn't plan that. That wasn't like a planned diss on Team Yak or anything like that. It's just, it is made in 1998, and it's one of my favorite movies from that year. We interviewed David Zucker, who directed this movie and also Airplane and many other movies. He directed this movie. He also invented the game of basketball and based the movie on that. It is an awesome movie, super funny, very raunchy, obviously. One of the fun things we talked about with Zucker about the movie was basically Parker and Stone, they thought South Park was going to get canceled. And that's the only reason they like said, okay, we'll do this movie. So what happened was they did the movie, and while they were filming it, they also had to keep doing South Park, which they didn't expect they would have to do. So during the day, they would do the shoots for the movie, And then at night, they would have to do everything for South Park. So like they basically were running on empty by the time that this was over. Next up, Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday is like one of the not worst movies I enjoy, but it's one where I'm cognizant that it's not great, but I'm still like, I just love it. It's good trashy fun that I enjoy. Something interesting I found on that was that P. Diddy was originally supposed to play Willie Beeman, but they did a screen test of him as like a quarterback, and he literally couldn't throw the ball. Like he had no athletic instincts whatsoever, and like this is how I imagine it. Like he threw the ball like the kid from the Duff or whatever, Armel, where he did like the side thing or whatever. And so he just looked so unathletic that the producers were like, no one will ever buy him as a football player. So they had to switch to Jamie Foxx after he dropped out. That they let him like save face, apparently. All right, after that, number 9, There's Something About Mary. Iconic movie, this movie is really weird to look at because this was one of I believe, the top 5 highest grossing movies of 1998. And like, can you imagine a rom-com like that being one of the top 5 grossing movies today? Like I can't picture it like that. It'd be like, can you imagine like a Avengers thing, DC thing, Jurassic World thing? There's Something About Mary, like this thing. It's like it would never ever happen today. So that's just one that I always found was interesting. Yeah, Frank and Bean's very funny part. We have an unreleased interview with Keith David that got lost by the HQ2 sound mixing machine. Let me see if I can find it. I know we have a picture with him. It was very funny because like it was basically he showed up by himself. He walked to the office and he was wearing an all purple jumpsuit and a purple Kangol. And he like talking to us and stuff. And like, I basically was just like crying about how much I loved the Arbiter in Halo and like, and millions of other voices that he did for video games, movies, whatever else. But yeah, and he plays the stepdad in this, which is I think based off one of the director's brothers or something like that. An interesting fact about this one, Owen Wilson was cast as as Ben Stiller's role in the movie. And basically the studio was like, we don't want you to cast Ben Stiller. And then they're like, okay, we're going to cast Owen Wilson. And then when they said that, the studio was like, well, no, don't do him. You can do Stiller. Just don't do Owen Wilson. So we could have potentially had an Owen Wilson. There's Something About Mary, which I don't think would have been that different. Probably have been like just as good a movie. I mean, not that Ben Stiller is on the like Owen Wilson is funnier than Ben Stiller, but I just don't think in this particular case it would have been different. Let's see. Next up, Rounders. Rounders, the best gambling movie ever made. I think some of you already mentioned it in here. Rounders, and this is one. The fact I learned from this is crazy. In that Matt Damon and Edward Norton, they played in a $10,000 buy-in Texas Hold'em no limit game in the 1998 World Series of Poker, and they made it like, or at least Matt Damon made it really far into the actual movie, and he or into the actual game until he got knocked out at the very, very end by Doyle Brunson, even though he had pocket kings, which kind of sucks. Uncut Gem Slander, no. So yes, it's a gambling movie, but like I feel like Rounders is a different type of gambling movie. For whatever that's worth. Great movie though. I love that scene. And I love John Malkovich in that movie. His Russian accent. Yeah. Be that man his money. It's so funny. It's just, he's incredible in that movie. He wouldn't have the Fockers trilogy without There's Something About Mary. That's true. I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Next is Rush Hour. Rush Hour is fucking awesome. It's such a good movie. I rewatch it all the time. It's on HBO Max, I think. Such a good movie. Definitely, I don't have it at 98 out of 100. I think I fucked that up on the graphic. But Rush Hour is one of the funniest movies, and I think all of them are just honestly hysterical. And what's almost as funny as that is when you go and you watch the blooper reel for all of the movies, because they're all equally hysterical. And something I learned from this, looking at the IMDb trivia, was that when Jackie Chan met Chris Tucker for the first time, when they were like just working out the details of the movie and all that, basically after the meeting, Jackie Chan told his manager, like, I don't understand any of the words coming out of his mouth. And then they used that line in the movie. So it literally came up later. How would I rank the Rush Hour movies? I think in order of release, I think is how I have them currently ranked. If not Rush Hour 2, maybe a smidge higher. I don't know. Neon and A24 are both incredible distributors, so let's not slander either of them. Okay, next up, we got our number 6, Ronin. Fucking love this movie. This movie is to me like it's like the European version of Heat. Really, really, really. Yeah, you're correct, Brian. It was very racist in both directions. But again, that it almost just like they cancel each other out. So Ronin is an amazing, amazing movie. Just like if you into heists, if you're into action, if you're into like literally like European style car chases, shootouts, whatever you want. If this movie has that, it is so goddamn good. You see Jean Reno up there, Robert De Niro. What I found out about this is that they destroyed 80 vehicles while they were filming this movie, which is incredible. But yeah, really, really good heist movie. Really good dialogue scenes. One of the cooler car chases and shootouts of basically any heist movie ever. So like if you like Heat, you'll like Ronin. So I'll check it out. Rushmore is a very good movie. You're correct. Next is He Got Game. One of Spike Lee's best, in my personal opinion. And I think it's the first time he wasn't in the movie that he was directing, which is kind of interesting. All-time Denzel performance. I think Ray Allen was pretty good for whatever that's worth too. Jesus Shuttlesworth, one of the most iconic names in movie history. The thing I found out about this one, which is very interesting, I didn't know this, and I feel like this is one that everyone knows but me. Spike Lee originally wanted Kobe to play Jesus Shuttlesworth, and Kobe wanted to do it. He said, okay. And then he finished his rookie year in the NBA, and he shot a bunch of air balls in a playoff loss his rookie year. And he planned a workout program to keep him stronger and like make all these adjustments so that he would be better. So he said, look, this summer is too important for me in professional growth to do He Got Game. So they picked Ray Allen instead. So could have had Kobe in He Got Game. That might have been the most legendary movie of all time. Not that Ray Allen isn't a legend in his own right. Next up, The Truman Show. Truman Show is awesome. That's one where I will blanket recommend it to almost anyone. And like, I have no problem, like, because I'm sure they will enjoy it. Awesome role from Jim Carrey, Ed Harris as well. Really, really good. Which Ed Harris and Jim Carrey, by the way, never met during filming at once. Did not meet each other at any point during this movie. It was very interesting. So, and one of the things I found, or not that I found out, but I knew this already, but Truman Syndrome, where like a bunch of people after watching this movie, like in the years following, they thought that they were in the same situation that Truman was. So like they essentially thought that they were in a reality show that they were unaware of, which is kind of interesting. The new LeBron Carmelo movie is going to stink. Should have invited Chris Paul. And who was the other member of the Banana Boat crew? I don't remember. All right. And next up, got Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Guy Ritchie OG movie. Another great crime comedy. Like he's essentially the king of crime comedy. Like if you ever want anything in that genre, you can watch literally any of his movies and they crush that. He's so they're good at that genre. And like this cast is crazy. You see on there alone, this is like I think Jason Statham's first big movie role. Jason Fleming's in there. There's Dexter Fletcher on the left side of it right here. He directed Rocket Man, I believe. Yeah, he directed Rocket Man. I think he directed a couple other movies too. I can't name off the top of my head, but he's also a good actor for whatever that's worth. Yeah, Jason Fleming there. Jason Statham. I can't tell who that is. Based off the look. And then this is what the fuck is his name? God damn it. He played on Chelsea and a couple other teams. He was like a bruiser for a bunch of soccer teams. But something very, very interesting about this movie is so I didn't know this at all. So like the movie basically couldn't find an American distributor. And so one of the actresses from the movie called in Tom Cruise, who she knew, and said like, look, you have to come to the screening and help us out. So Tom Cruise goes to the screening. he liked the movie, and like Matthew Vaughn, who we've interviewed too, he's a really cool dude. He produced the movie. He said that it was hysterical. You had all these mid-level executives sitting there. Cruise walks in. He saw them all sit up, paying attention, and get on their phones. And suddenly, senior executives are joining the screening. And by the end, Tom got up in front of everyone and said, "This is the best movie I've seen in years. You guys would be a fool not to buy it," which I think is awesome. Yes, Vinnie Jones is the name of the guy's name. But basically, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels may have never released in the United States if it wasn't for Tom Cruise basically showing up and saving the day in 1998 or maybe earlier. As we get into the final two here, the Big Lebowski, I mean, it's a dude. It's a dude. I think say dude more in that movie than any other movie I think on Earth. And I think when I read something about it, I assume that's a movie you watch and you just feel like so much of it is organic that like it's improvised or whatever. Not a lot was improvised. Like apparently they had one scene in the entire movie that was improvised. I forget which one it was, but the rest was all in the script. Like every dude, every one of those things. Vinnie Jones played. Yeah, Vinnie Jones was on Chelsea, I think, for like a hot minute, and like a couple other teams or something like that. I'm 95% certain Vinnie Jones played in the EPL. He had like he was like a bruiser. He was also in their version of what's that movie called? The soccer one. It's not Bad News Bears. It's like their own version of that, but I forget the name of it. He's right. Yeah, I had a pretty strong feeling about it. But yeah, anyway, Big Lebowski. Something interesting I learned about this is that all of the dude's clothes are just Jeff Bridges' clothes. They're all his. Like I thought that there was like a wardrobe or whatever. They try to make him look more bohemian or whatever the vibe is, but nope, just all his clothes. Makes sense. Kicking and Screaming. Yeah, that was the movie. Why did I think Bad News Bears? Oh, Chelsea leads in captain for Wales. Yeah, that makes sense. He's so good in Lock, Stock. There's a really good scene in that movie where he plays like a gangster, and like these three guys come in to try and rob him, and he's like, they point guns in his face, and he's like, they're like, why aren't you giving your money away or whatever? And he's like, well, there's one big reason why. It's because I have this, and he pulls out a fucking Desert Eagle and puts it on the table. He's like, that's because the side of my Desert Eagle says 50 caliber, and the side of your gun says prop. And then the guys just run away. Very funny scene. A lot of great scenes in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, which I think is on Prime Video. I feel like it usually is. Okay. Number one. You knew what it was going to be. It was Saving Private Ryan. Best Guy Ritchie film. Let me go check on movierankings.net what I have as my number one, although I do have a very strong Ritchie. It is Lock, Stock. I was like, I'm pretty like 90% sure it's Lock, Stock. I have Lock, Stock, then Snatch, The Gentleman, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and then some other stuff like Sherlock Holmes and Rock and Roller. Rock and Roller, extremely underappreciated movie, by the way. Extremely underappreciated movie. Okay, so Saving Private Ryan, awesome movie. Not like one where you watch it and you're like, fuck yeah, this is so cool. It's like you watch it and it's just a legitimately great movie that I think that Brad Pitt's accent in Snatch is really good. I think we asked Matthew Vaughn about that too. We were like, was Brad Pitt's accent intentionally bad? And he's like, no, he thought it was all right. But Saving Private Ryan, obviously the number one of the greatest movies, probably the greatest war movie ever made. Actually, easily the greatest war movie ever made. Awesome movie. I think the big fun fact about this one, which is one that I'm sure a lot of you already know, is that the big speech that happened in the movie with Matt Damon, that was all improvised by Matt Damon. And like they were just like ripping through some stuff, and Matt Damon just went off on that whole story, and they're like, this is so weird, it's so derivative, it makes no sense, it's rambling. And then like they kind of realized like, well, that's actually perfect for the movie. Like that's perfect for the character who just realized or just recently found out that his brothers died. Unreal cinematography, true. One of the other things I learned in this was that Spielberg, for the D-Day sequence, he wanted to get like the shaky cam sort of effect for when they were on the beaches and all that shit. And let me close this. They wanted to get like this shaky cam effect for the beaches, right? And so they would basically, Spielberg made this rig for the camera where he would plug a drill into it, and like he would drill it. He would turn on the drill to get like the shaky cam on the thing. And then like one of like the PAs or something was like, yeah, you know, we have like just different camera lenses for this, for shaky cam. It'll be fine. And like Spielberg was devastated because he thought like, oh, I just invented a brand new shooting technique that everyone's going to use. VA hospitals had to create a hotline. Yeah. I remember my dad's friend telling us how like his dad, who was in D-Day, and like his friends or buddies from the service went to go see the movie, and they had to walk out after the opening sequence because they just like it was too many bad memories, I guess. But I guess that shows you how accurate it really felt for a lot of them. Awesome movie. Really, really good one. But yeah, we can close off with some more recommendations. So anything else you guys got? Any other questions you guys got? I'm all ears. Just let me know. Masterclass with Spielberg. Yeah. I mean, it's he's one of those directors, like you forget, and I don't think you really forget, but like you lose sight of it when he makes a couple shitty movies like The Post or whatever. But then you watch like West Side Story and you're like, this guy fucking knows how to engross someone into a movie with the camera. Like it's crazy. Did I watch Hustle? Yeah, I thought it's like paint by numbers, very formulaic, but like it's good, if that makes sense. It's like comfort food. Best disaster movie. Maybe the actual movie disaster movie. Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer. What do you start next? I mean, those are two not like crazy advanced anime or anything like that. But I don't know like what's in that same vein that like of like action. Watch Yu Yu Hakusho. Or yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho. That's how you pronounce it, right? I've watched the show like 3 times through. I feel like I'm still pronouncing it right. Yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist will be good. Yeah, Brotherhood specifically, significantly better. I think that's actually great. That's a great suggestion. Any word on Harley Quinn season 3? No, I haven't watched a lot of the DC animated series yet, but I heard that they're all incredible. I heard King Shark in that series is amazing. I think I interviewed the guy who voices him, Ron Funches, and he really loves playing him. Righteous Gemstones is awesome. The last season I thought was so cool. Very, very funny as always. That crew, those three children from that movie are grown adults. So fucking funny. Edie Patterson, not Jimmy Tatro, fucking dude from Workaholics. Why do I always forget his name? And Danny McBride. Hysterical. They're so funny, dude. They are. I think Edie Patterson might be the funniest woman alive. She's so good. The Offer. No, I haven't started that either. Although I have heard nothing but great things about it. It was one of those things like that came out right before Top Gun came out, and I was like, I need like a Miles Teller break, and then I'll go back to it. Adam Devine. Yeah, I always forget his name. I don't know why. Like I could tell you, Anders Holm and Blake Anderson are the other two, but for some reason Adam Devine is always the one. Thank you. I appreciate the praise on holding down the fort. Only doing our best. Pacific Rim, the anime. Yeah, I thought it was like pretty cool. Better sign off for that franchise and what it could be than that shitty sequel. What was the other one I just missed? The Northman underperforming. Where do you think Robert Eggers goes? I don't know. I mean, the Northman's weird because like I feel like it underperformed, but like people really liked it. Like I don't think I talked to anyone who saw the Northman and was like, yeah, that fucking sucked. Like I really wish I didn't see that. Like everyone was like either I liked it was awesome, or like I liked it but it was confusing. Like I don't think I heard anyone be like this shit. But I feel like his reaction to it might just be either he'll lean more into it and be like, want to do something like that again, because his reaction to everyone's confusion was like, it's supposed to be kind of confusing. Like you're supposed to learn or pick up stuff later. So I don't know. We Own the City. Yeah, it's awesome. I believe we're interviewing John Bernthal for that sometime soon for the second time. It was a really good show. It's obviously the guys from The Wire. It's so similar. It has obviously a lot of the same character or same actors in it. Bernthal's Baltimore accent is fucking out of this world. It is so goddamn good. I love him so much. He's one of those guys like he's like a kind of a chameleon a little in a way. Like he really just gets himself sucked into whatever he's playing. Yes, I think she's the funniest one on Gemstones too. Look up Pace. It's a fan cut of One Piece with no filler. Huh. One Pace. Oh, sorry. Huh. Yeah, I'll get there. Need to watch The Witch. So yeah, The Witch is really good. Awesome. I think Robert Eggers just has like this weird, not obsession, but he just loves Anya Taylor-Joy. The Japanese movie House. No. What? Let me know what streaming service it's on. Station 11. Yeah. So Station 11 is really, really good. Especially like the first 3 episodes were awesome. So good. It was one of those things where like as I was watching and they got more into the weeds with the play shit, I was just like getting less engaged, so to speak. Like when they were just practicing it in the apartment between the 2 guys and the little girl, like that was, I think, really, really interesting. Like, and that emotional relationship building between them, and then that all coming full circle at the end of it was really good. Worst ever trilogy. Actually, before I get to that, Yorgos versus Robert Eggers is a great question. I would love to see a movie that they collaborated on because it might be like the most psychotic thing ever made. Worst trilogy. I don't know. What does the internet say is the worst trilogy is? Like Blade? Like Blade is fine. Even like The Hobbit is like not unwatchable. It's gonna be something like we've never heard of. The Troll trilogy. Okay, yeah. Look Who's Talking trilogy. Yeah, I didn't realize there was a third one. I only knew there was the second one. Problem Child. Delta Force. Yeah, Chuck Norris. Okay. Big Mama's trilogy. I Know What You Did Last Summer trilogy. Addams Family trilogy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not going to talk shit on them because their fans are legion. All right, I'll get back to it. Have you seen The End of the Tour? No, I've not. House is on HBO Max. All right, that's good to know. I've watched Tokyo Vice. Yes, Tokyo Vice was really, really interesting. And it's weird because like I feel like we shouldn't fuck with Ansel Elgort too much, but like for the rest of that cast, I think is really interesting. He's okay, but like all the Yakuza stuff, I think is more interesting. The Divergent trilogy is a great call, Ben White. I've been playing any video games. Yes, I have been playing this is a ridiculous game to be playing. But I've been playing this game called Enlisted, which is a free-to-play game on PlayStation. It's also, I think, a PC game first and a couple other things. It's like a World War II first-person shooter thing. It's kind of like Battlefield-ish, and like you move up in stages of a big-ass battle. And there's like DLC shit, but like that's why it's free-to-play. But really, really fun. I really like it. The level-up system's cool. A little confusing at times, but like I'm really enjoying it. It's just stupid, turn off your brain entertainment. It's not like a great game or anything like that. It's just I'm having a lot of fun with it. If only there's a Grown Ups 3, yeah. Project Hail Mary. No, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Best HBO show still on TV. Yeah. I put it like it's Succession and Barry are like neck and neck for me. And like I think for both of them, they both had kind of like a weaker third season, but 2 stellar first seasons of television. Like it's so incredibly good. Yeah. Biggest letdown sequels. There's so many. I'd have to go and do a full ass fucking list of that. Finished Always Sunny for the first time. Yeah, It's Always Sunny is like the. I've said this before and it's made people mad, but I've compared it. I think it's like the Seinfeld of the millennial generation or whatever. Or like for me, like that's what the impact is. And like the one thing I'll say about It's Always Sunny too is like it really doesn't drop in quality really between seasons or anything like that. Like it's insane. First person shooter guy, yeah. Kenobi soundtrack just kind of sucks, which is insane because it's Natalie Holt who did Loki, and the Loki soundtrack is so good, but the soundtrack to Obi-Wan just stinks. It's real bad. Peacemaker up there. Yeah, Peacemaker's only through 1 season, but Peacemaker has been awesome. In 20 we read. Yeah, so we could get there with Jurassic World or Jurassic Park. I think you could make a dinosaur movie that's legitimately scary, or one that just shows dinosaurs out in the wild taking supremacy away from humans. Am I a Fallout fan? Yes. Fallout specifically 3 and New Vegas are 2 games that I think I've played about as much as any other Xbox game I ever owned. Fallout 4 and was okay. And I didn't even bother with the other ones because my younger brother told me that they were trash, and he's much bigger into Fallout than I am. But yeah, New Vegas is one of my favorite games I think I've ever played. I think we did a video game ranking on LCB a while back, and I had it rated as like my number 1 overall game. I'm getting tired of Marvel Star Wars content. Like, they are in a unique spot, right, where they can throw so much up against the wall and just see what works. And like, if something works, great. If it doesn't, forget about it. So I think that I'm for them continuing to make new stuff if it means that you get something really cool. I do think that the big part of it with Star Wars is making sure Dave Filoni's the guy. No matter what the program is, he needs to have a touch on it. I think for Marvel, they've had, I think, a tougher road at it. Not all of I feel like they've had way more misses, if that makes sense. But I don't know. Well, I'm very hopeful for them. And even like Mrs. Marvel has been pretty good so far. That's one I thought was going to suck. The Moon Knight, I was super excited for. That turned out being pretty bad, or not bad, just like, I don't know, just wasn't that good. Taika doing Star Wars is a great sign. Yeah. Taika said a lot of stuff that I think a lot of Star Wars fans have been echoing forever, which is like, he doesn't want to do something related to the existing Star Wars characters. Like, he doesn't want to do, I think he said, like, I don't want to make a character that's like Chewbacca's grandma or whatever. And I think that's cool. Like, I like to see him go and do something that's outside of what we've seen in Star Wars before, but using that existing universe. So I'm very, very excited to see what he does with it. I'm sure it'll be like one of the funniest things. I recently restarted The Mandalorian. It was the scene with him and as IG-88 is so funny. It crushes me. Like, he is so good in that role, and I think he just has a really good eye for storytelling and humor. But yeah, and I'm the only person that thinks that, by the way. No one else likes Taika Waititi. Who's Marvel going to cast as Doctor Doom? I don't know. I feel like it depends on like what the ages are of the Fantastic Four, right? Like, because they're supposed to be like relatively close-ish in age. And who are they previous to? Was that guy that I don't think ever did a movie really after the original Fantastic Four, and then they did oh my god, he was in Rock and Roller. I was just talking about that movie. Toby Kebbell, I think is his name. Played him in the other one. So I don't know. We need Chewie's grandma now. Yeah, we need that. We need more. What was they said it on My Mom's Basement? Jar Jar Binks' dad's name, like George R. Binks or something. Could do that. 76 was garbage. Yeah, no, I didn't want to bother. Overwatch. I've never played Overwatch. Never once. I've played all these games that I feel like are tangentially related, like Valorant. Really liked Apex. Really liked like all that stuff. I enjoy those games. I should enjoy Overwatch. I just never got around to playing it. There's a lot of games I still need to catch up on. Although I think at this point, I'm just going to save my video game yearly allowance on God of War Ragnarok, I think they're calling it, whenever that comes out. Because God of War, I think, was one of the better games I played in a very long time. But yeah. So anyway, I think our hour is basically up. But I'm going to come back and do another one next Friday. I think we'll do... I like the structure, but maybe I think I'll change the structure around as far as the ranking thing goes, because I do want to hear more from you guys. Am I looking forward to Elvis? No. I think Baz Luhrmann makes nothing but bad movies, really. So I'm really not. And like, the more critics try to tell me it's going to be good, the more I think it's going to suck. And it's going to be funny because, I mean, I mentioned this in the last pod. It's going to be me and Chris basically shitting down Baz Luhrmann's throat while Jeff tries to defend him. So that's going to be an interesting episode when we review it. But yeah, so I think the next episode we do this, we'll do a little bit less with this sort of structure. I did see Tom Hanks lose his shit on that guy. It was very funny. But I think we'll do every Friday at 11:45 a.m., God willing. So I will see you guys back next Friday, but I enjoyed this. It was fun. I do hope Elvis sucks really bad. I'm very excited for that. All right. I'll see you guys later. Oh, and I made an end roll just for this purpose.